10 wrongdoers are sent to live on planet X-59. They must make a path through a swamp to reach the Islands of Happiness, the only safe place before bad weather or scary things underground harm them. When the movie begins, we see that 1,000 years back, the first people left Earth and created the League of Free Worlds. Some went to sunny planets while others ended up on a swampy one. They built a city there where everything was well organized, prosperous, and under strict control. Everything there was in a sequence and nothing was out of control. Christy was one of those who could not accept this way of life, and it led her to prison. However, because there is no death penalty on planet XT-59, a group of 10 prisoners, including Christy, was sent to live in the swamps for their entire lives. If they are fortunate, they might reach the Paradise Islands. But no one remembers such cases because the swamps are full of dangerous creatures. This time, the prisoners were ready for their final journey. The captain makes one prisoner unable to move by covering his head with a sack. Then he tells the prisoner to walk ahead. The prisoner asks about the security barrier and moves very carefully. Luckily, he manages to avoid hitting the invisible barrier, where captain then tells the security to turn off the protection. After that, the captain reads the sentence and takes the sack off the prisoner's head. He orders to give the prisoners a metal box with supplies and tells them they have 1 hour to leave, or the guards will kill them right there. One woman gets really upset, saying she is just a visitor and did not do anything wrong. She tries to run away, but Christy catches her and calms her down. Another person, named Irvin, suggests that everyone should say their names, but a tough guy named Van Borg and nicknamed the Polar Wolf, who knows the swamps because he has been sent away before, stops the idea. Van Borg wants to learn about everyone, but they are interrupted by a scary creature called the Pagan that lives underground in the area. The creature feels vibrations and heads towards them, pulling its prey underground. Christy says she will only listen to Irvin. Van Borg reminds her that he is in charge. Irvin suggests sharing the supplies, opens the box and grabs a knife. Others quickly jump for the supplies. Van Borg asserts his authority again, but Irvin, not wanting to follow a prisoner, declares he is leaving for the Paradise Islands. Christy joins Irvin, and they both want their part of the supplies. Van Borg's follower tries to say Christy owes him, but Irvin stops him by putting a knife to his throat. Irvin warns that if prisoners try to harm each other, they will be shot on the spot. Van Borg has to give them their share of supplies, and Irvin even asks for the metal box itself in exchange for some food. Van Borg agrees to give it to them. Van Borg tells his group to get ready for the journey. Christy asks Irvin to help the scared tourist, but he says she is already gone, even if she does not realize it. Irvin tells Christy to go first since she is lighter, and he can pull her out if she falls into the swamp. A voice from the fortress tells the prisoners to reach the shore. Van Borg leads his team forward. Irvin and Christy tie a heavy box with ropes and start their journey. Out of nowhere, a shot comes from the fortress. People hide behind rocks, and Irvin figures out he was the one they were aiming for. He makes Christy crawl to safety, and she notices small crawling creatures. Irvin says they are harmless and could be food, which grosses Christy out. Eventually, they find a safer spot and see that the Van Borg's team is following them. Christy watches Irvin plan ahead and solve problems. Christy is concerned, trying to figure out who the man was before being sent away. The girl questions if the Paradise Islands are real. Irvin rightly says they would not try to kill him if they did not exist. The guards would be sure he'd die. Even though it is Irvin's first time in the swamp, he is confident he can find the right way. Meanwhile, the president scolds the captain because the advisor is still alive. Sergeant Matthias, who was pretending to be a prisoner, failed to get rid of the advisor. The captain tells the president that the swamps are impossible to pass. Meanwhile, Christy and Irvin find a small, clean stream. Christy washes her face, thinking about her bad luck. Suddenly, Irvin tells Christy to freeze. She worries he is up to something, but it turns out he saw the Pagan emerging from the ground. Christy grabs a knife and cuts part of the creature. Afterward, she treats Irvin's wound. She shares that she ended up in prison for resisting an inspector who tried to force her into something intimate. At that time, the Van Borg's group comes out from behind the rocks. The man wants to get back the metal box, but Irvin takes a part of the creature cut off by Christy and uses it like an electric whip. Van Borg understands things are not good and chooses to let them go. The pair leaves, but Van Borg keeps following them stubbornly. Irvin heard that on the decayed shore there is a place where former prisoners live, and Van Borg is their leader. He follows them, hoping the pair will fall into a trap in the swamp. Irvin sees pagan tips in the ground and tells Christy to lie down, be quiet and not move. They watch as a big root of the pagan comes up over the Van Borg's group, pulling several people underground. Meanwhile, the president contacts the captain again, who says he has taken the necessary steps, and his man is on the trail in the swamps. Irvin and Christy stop for the night. The man is ready to talk about himself if the girl solves his riddle about the cost of a chocolate bar. But as he states the riddle conditions, Christy falls asleep. The girl wakes up to a weird sound and sees a bunch of creatures coming toward them. She tries to run, but Irvin throws her into a box, gets in himself, and closes the lid. They wait for the creatures to pass, and even though the box's lid is eventually opened, they stay safe. Eventually, everything becomes quiet, and they come out. Christy's first question is about the riddle's answer, and now that she knows it, she calms down. They do not need the box anymore and throw it away. Soon they reach the watery part of the swamp. Meanwhile, the rest of the Van Borg's group follows their path, but Lila thinks they might lose the couple. She chases after Irvin and Christy, and Van Borg chases after her, falling into a swamp pit. Here, Layla slips up, revealing that Irvin used to advise the president and knows what to do. Despite this, one of the prisoners, Jan, helps the Van Borg out. In the evening, Irvin sets up camp, makes Christy eat raw tadpoles, and confesses that he used to advise the president. His guilt bothered him, and he gathered a lot of different information that he wanted to share with the public. The people in charge figured they could not quietly get rid of him, so they sent him to the swamps. He pulled off a move, injecting a virus into the control system. The only way to stop it is with a code, and he is the only one who knows it. After the systems crash, people can create a new city management system. Christy warns him that they will likely be searching for him then, but the man is sure that by that time, they will already be on the islands. In the city, the system starts falling apart. First, the communication satellites stop working. In the morning, Layla and the others encounter wild people on their journey. Hearing their screams, Christy curses whoever came up with this punishment method. Irvin confesses he did it, thinking it was humane. Christy breaks down, scolding Irvin and telling him to burn himself so no one can learn his code. He starts screaming, calling the savages to fight and die, but no one comes out. Then Christy admits she was offered freedom if Irvin dies. Meanwhile, Van Borg discovers members of his group hiding among the rocks to save themselves. Layla talks about the offer she got to kill the advisor, and a ship will come for her. Van Borg commands to find the tracker on her body. The girl runs away and dies in a dangerous swamp fungus. Seeing their spy is dead, the captain arms Sergeant Matthias and sends him after the advisor. Another man from the Van Borg's group dies, and Jan catches up with the couple. Distracted by him, Irvin falls into a trap set by the Van Borg, who plans to exchange the advisor for freedom. Irvin, all tied up, tries to convince Christy to run, but she surprises him by suddenly kissing him. Van Borg makes Irvin stand, but he makes fun of the prisoner, so Van Borg ends up carrying Irvin on his back. Meanwhile, Sergeant Matthias's group lands in the old prison ruins where wild criminals live. Soon, the Van Borg's group arrives, leaving Irvin and Christy aside. Van Borg goes to negotiate with the sergeant, but as they talk, Irvin frees himself and escapes. Van Borg promises to find him, but gets shot by the sergeant. After that, Matthias finds Christy and Jan. Unfortunately, he kills Jan and takes the girl with him. Irvin faces Matthias and asks him to let Christy go in return for himself. The military agrees but shoots a tranquilizer dart, hitting both Christy and Irvin. The fatally wounded Van Borg then stabs Irvin in the back with a knife. Irvin thanks the dying man, who advises against going to the Paradise Islands because they do not exist. Later, Irvin drinks poison to avoid suffering. Carrying Christy in his arms, Irvin reaches the sea, and the advisor realizes that the Paradise Islands are rafts made of plants. They can cross the strait on them. Meanwhile, the captain cannot reach Matthias and understands that searching for the advisor won't work. Still, he sends the final combat drone after him. At the same time, Christy wakes up and notices that their island is slowly sinking. Prisoner hears this and jumps into the water to save the couple. Soon they hear a drone approaching, but it fails to reach them and falls into the water. This shows that Irvin's virus worked and the city's control system is destroyed. Their happiness is interrupted by a cliff appearing ahead. The couple wraps themselves in their plant-made island and miraculously survives a huge waterfall. Soon, they reach the shore where there is a secret bunker set up in case the president needs to escape. Irvin designed and built it, but he does not know the complete code. The last figure was entered by the president. There are only 2 tries, so guessing the code is impossible. Then, Christy remembers the riddle about the chocolate bar. Knowing the president's answer, which Irvin also asked him, she suggests entering the number he mentioned. Irvin first deliberately writes the wrong number and later writes the correct number, which was 9. The bunker opens, but they find out that the hidden spaceship inside is only for 1 person. Irwin says Christy should fly alone, but she refuses because she loves him. She did not want to leave Irvin there under any circumstances alone, and she becomes very upset. In the final scenes of the movie, we hear Christy and Irvin's voices, making it clear they somehow fit into the spaceship together, thanks to their rescue. The League of Free Worlds found out the truth about the planet and destroyed the remains of the total control system. But after 10 years, a new system was set up on planet XT59, even more unkind than the old one, and the movie ends here. Kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons, as it greatly supports us. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.